Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Grade 8 Events. I'm your host, Delaney Hall. Thanks for being here on another Thursday. We have an incredible lineup of events this week. I do have my water bottle handy. Some of y'all, if you're watching last week, saw that I got out of breath. Any of my mamas out there know you get the shortness of breath. So y'all bear with me, okay? This week, we highlighted the 43rd annual Carytown Watermelon Festival. This is one of my favorite festivals to go to. I've been going to this since I was a little girl. Basically, it's a smile down Cary Street. It's 10 to 6 on Sunday down in Carytown. So I want to bring in some photos I actually took. So I actually went to the festival last year. I had to get the watermelon, of course. That's what everyone goes for. This year, they are going to be, these bowls of watermelon are going to be for sale for $2. And it benefits local Shriners. I wanted to show this picture because this kind of gives a good idea of what Cary Street will look like. Literally hundreds of vendors will be lining Cary Street. It's all going to be closed off. I believe there's going to be more than 100 vendors. There's also live music on multiple stages. There's a kids zone with games and 3,000 watermelons. That's kind of the sweet spot when speaking to organizers about how many watermelons do we supply for the Watermelon Festival. 3,000 is kind of what they've landed on and what they think kind of works. So everyone gets what they want and they don't run out. So I spoke to the organizer, Mike Murphy. He is the managing partner at 311 Productions. They've been putting on the Watermelon Festival for 17 years now in Richmond. And I kind of asked why watermelon, right? You don't kind of think twice about it. But he says it started a very long time ago with a very simple idea. So let's take a listen.
Oddly enough, it was a sidewalk sale tactic that merchants would put tables of watermelon out to attract customers during the dog days of summer, and the idea just continued to grow. And here we are.
And who would have thought 43 years later we would have probably one of the biggest festivals in all of Richmond just that came from merchants just trying to stay afloat during the summer months. That was Mike Murphy. He is very excited this year. They do a lot of other festivals around the area. And he actually says a lot of people plan like vacations and long weekends around the Watermelon Festival because if you think about it, school starts very soon. And I know school used to start after Labor Day. Well, of course, we know it starts before Labor Day now here in Central Virginia. So a lot of people plan around it to try to do the last kind of hurrah before the first day of school arrives. One thing to note about the Carytown Watermelon Festival, Cary Street's going to be blocked off. Do not think that you are going to be ahead of the game if you go down there on Saturday night and then park your car. You're going to get towed. So they're going to start road closures at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So from 2 a.m. to 9 p.m., West Cary Street from North Nansemond Street to Arthur Ashe Boulevard will be closed. And then some of the connected side streets on both sides of West Cary Street will be closed from Elwood to Parkwood Avenues. Honestly, while it may sound like daunting to go downtown and try to find parking where all these street closures are happening, I highly suggest just going around to some of the neighborhoods in the area. Obviously be respectful because those are people's homes and they're probably dealing with a bunch of festival parking and traffic. Last year, I think we took an extra 10 minutes just to kind of drive around and find a parking spot that we could park at and just walk a couple blocks over. And thankfully, it looks like it's going to be really nice weather. I know a lot of times, if you've been to the Carytown Watermelon Festival, it's a festival in the dead of August, right? And so it can get pretty hot. It looks like it's going to be a nice break this year. So bring walking shoes. Don't wear your stilettos because you're going to be walking on cobblestone streets down Cary Street. So that's the Carytown Watermelon Festival. I know I'm very excited for it. Organizers are very excited for it for its 43rd year. Should be a great one. Oh, and it's free. Everything's free. Besides, entry is free. Obviously, if you want the $2 watermelon bowls, if you're buying anything from vendors, things like that. But that is the Carytown Watermelon Festival. We have a lot of other incredible events happening this weekend across our area. The first is the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival from Friday to Sunday. If you know anything about my co-anchor Autumn, you know she loves live music, and this is right up her alley. So this is happening, like I said, Friday to Sunday. So Friday, it kicks off at the Hippodrome Theater, actually. It's a ticket event called Homegrown at the Hip, starting at 6 p.m. I believe you can buy tickets, on the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival website, those will cost you $50 for just Friday's show. It continues on Saturday, on Sunday, on 2 different stages at Maymont. Gates open at 1 o'clock for both days. None of the sets overlap, which is pretty great. Every artist has their own moment, and you're not going to be listening to kind of like 2 dueling artists, if you will, trying to have their voices heard. You're going to find acts like Alexander Mack, T.I., Charles Owens, Norman Brown, Legacy Band, CeeLo Green. So they have a great lineup of artists that are going to be here. If you want to find the entire full schedule of when certain acts are performing, this is on the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival website. They break it down by day, stage, and time. And we've actually had Alexander Mack on the show before. He's a really nice guy, and I know he's probably really pumped for this. Tickets for this also on the richmondjazzandmusicfestival.com, my cute little search bar up here. Weekend passes are sold out, unfortunately. You can get advanced tickets. You can see here for Saturday or Sunday, $145 for those advanced tickets. The steps, just go through the button and click all the things that you need to click. It looks like there is about a $22 fee here. So just be mindful if you're buying those online. But yeah, that's the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival. Again, all of this is richmondjazzandmusicfestival.com. 3 days. Make sure you get your tickets because the acts look pretty incredible, if I do say so myself. And you can see here, gates open both days at 1 p.m. Looks like those first acts start around 2 o'clock. All right, back to our list. This Saturday is also Farm Fest and 5K at Hanover Vegetable Farm. This is free. It's happening from 11 to 6 on Saturday. This is, of course, at the Hanover Vegetable Farm on Ashland Road, up in Ashland. You're going to find tractors, live music, produce stands, hay rides, vendors, food trucks, family activities. Live music is going to be by Dakota Kinsey and Exit 38 and Brendan Burt. So that's some nice local talent there. The Red Barn, if you know where that is, on site for a corn on the cob station, because why not? A beer tent, and you can meet Lucky the baby calf. I don't know what else you need on a Saturday, but I give you those options. They are also having a 5K that you can register for beforehand. Check-in on Saturday begins at 9 a.m. The race will start at 10. It'll start at the beginning of the festival site. You kind of go through some roads and some trails, you pass some farms and horses and some cute little farm life, and then you're going to be back at the entrance of the festival. You can register online if you want to do that. I literally just looked up Hanover Vegetable Farm, and they have a big fancy button. Let me see if I can bring up my browser. They have a big fancy button that says register here. If you click that, it'll bring you to everything. It looks like it's going to be at about a $55 sign up. I believe the cutoff to make sure you got a t-shirt, was July 20th. So just be mindful of that. The early registration deadline has passed. But you can register online for this. Again, that's all starting at 9 a.m. for check-in on Saturday. And that race actually starts at 10 a.m. And it's probably going to be a really nice morning to run. Oops, wrong button. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you want to, get your run on and then go meet Lucky the baby calf and get a beer. Why not? All right. The next event I want to talk about is the Colonial Downs Festival of Racing on Saturday. This all starts at noon. Gates open at 11:30. They are calling it Colonial Downs' biggest day of racing. I believe there's 12 races happening that day. Along with the racing, you're going to find live music, lots of activities for the family and for the kids. The Grayson Torrance Band is also going to be there. We've had her on the show on 8 News at 9. She's an extremely talented local artist who is actually on American Idol. And she just as down to earth as she gets. So I'm sure she's really excited for this. You also find a petting zoo, face painter, balloon maker. Like I said, very family friendly. So don't think you're just going to be watching races. There's something for the little kiddos as well. You will find free parking. Seats are available on a first come, first served basis. But I do believe if you've ever been to the racetrack, you can buy reserved seating in like different areas just for like a small fee. So if you want to have like a set seat. Anything like that. General admission tickets are going to cost you $5. Kids under 5 are free to get in. So very family friendly, just an option for you. The last event that I want to touch on is the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. This is happening at Saturday and Sunday at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. This is actually an expo that's been traveling across the country, and they bring in vendors and artists from all over. And so this weekend, they just happen to be in Richmond. You can browse and shop for some rare items. I just wrote down a couple. There's like a whole list of stuff, but dark artistry, horror and Halloween-inspired art, antiques, taxidermy. It gets pretty wild. So there's a lot of other stuff that you can find there. There's also immersive experiences with photo ops, tarot readings, different kind of performances, that kind of thing. So tickets, there's a really big range of prices depending on what you want to pay. They range from $12 to $344. I'll be honest, I did not do a ton of research as to what that $344 option gets you. But if you want to learn more, I would head to oddietiesandcuriositiesexpo.com and you can find out all the information. You can see this is the full list of cities that they've been going to. And it looks like they're going to be in Australia too. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that has kind of everything that you would need to know, all their Instagram feeds and all the interesting collectibles that they are going to have there. But yeah, that is the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. Oh, and I said that ticket range from $12 to $344. Kids 12 and under are free. So you don't have to pay for kids. That's definitely a plus. Those are the events that I have for Graded Events this week, and I kind of flew through them. There's honestly a lot of other events going on this weekend. I feel like with the first day of school fastly approaching, everyone's trying to get in those last minute celebrations and fun things before the kiddos go back to school. But if you have an event you want us to learn more about, send us an email at news@wrac.com. We'd love to hear from you. We are also doing live interviews on 8 News at 9. That way, if you want to be on our show, send us an email at interview@wrac.com. We'll see if you are a good fit for our show. We just had Miss Annette from Delta come in and talk about their golf tournament happening, I believe, at the end of the month on August 22nd. So she was a delight as well. So yes, we'd love to meet you and learn more about all the amazing things you guys are doing in our community. But for now, I will say I'll see you later, and I will see you next week.